So welcome back to another episode of King Street Kids Q&A, and where we take questions from the kids in the congregation and we answer them as best we can. Why did God create diseases like coronavirus?
Man, wow. I think that like what comes to mind, there's a story, right? We may know it. Noah, didn't God kill all of humanity in like a flood?
Except for Noah and his family.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's pretty harsh, that Old Testament God was pretty harsh. But what happened in that Noah story, at the end of the Noah story, there was a promise that after this cleanup, God wouldn't do that again. So, that is a great question. And I know a lot of people may be thinking that, and they just, even grown-ups, they may think that and just don't want to ask it. I think if we talk about God being God of creator, then the creating God has a huge creation. And that includes some things that aren't always so good. Creation also includes earthquakes, and it includes hurricanes, and it includes viruses. So sometimes life isn't all good. Sometimes bad things happen. What God promises is to walk with us in those times. God also creates doctors or brilliant minds and questions and answers so that doctors and researchers can study and learn how to find cures or vaccines for viruses and diseases.
Do you ever mess up during worship?
All the time.
Never. I'm perfect in every way.
Yeah.
Have you heard me sing lately? Yes. That too.
I sort of stumble over my words in the prayers, and it gets kind of funny, and I try not to laugh in worship.
It's something that's never happened. Knock wood. I hope this never happens to me, but at some point it will. If I spill the communion wine, that would be terrible. But again, you just keep going on because God still loves us, and worship is an act, a ritual that we do. We follow this pattern, and it's not always perfect, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because, like Pastor always says, it's not a performance.
One of the holdbacks from people is, but I don't want to mess up, and people are scared of messing up in worship, and so it's not so much if you mess up, it's just when you mess up, what do you do? And I think, like Pastor Eric just said, you just keep going and remember that we're not doing now. Right now, it feels a bit like it because there's all these cameras and things, but worship's not a production that you have to get perfect. It's offering your best praise up to God, and sometimes you mess up, but that was your best in the moment, and worship still continues.
How come cereal bags aren't Ziplock yet? And I'm here for it. Like, what do you mean? It's 2020. We can do open heart surgery, but we can't put a Ziploc bag in a cereal with cereal? Like, what is this?
What a question.
Yeah,
I just had cereal and put a clothespin on the Captain Crunch.
Right? Like, what is this?
That's a great.
Granola has a Ziploc bags. Cheese has a Ziploc bag. You can get Ziploc bags for grapes now. Vegetables, like salad mix. Like the list goes on and on.
Yeah, maybe we should patent this idea.
It could be because it's the same reason that straws are larger, so you would drink more of it. Maybe if we don't have a Ziploc on cereal, you have to eat it more quickly or it gets stale.
I mean, what is it? It's 2020. We can send someone to the moon, but we can't put a Ziploc bag on a cereal? Like, what is this?
And speaking of creativity and using your gifts, someone needs to get on that. If you have any questions, whether it's about big old God questions or worship or whatever's on your mind, cereal and Ziploc bags, whatever's on your mind. You can send those questions to us. Send them specifically to Daniel at youth@smlccharleston.org. Till next time.
And like always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, if you want more content like this.
Nice. All right. Laters.
Bye.